The next is transportation characteristics. And this has to do with the different attributes that are conventional to transportation. It's about different attributes that are conventional to transportation. Now, let's see what this authority has for us. It's necessary to move people. Did you observe that? It is necessary to move people from one place to another. In doing so, however, transportation provides a service that is for transportation on its own, which has some unique characteristics. So when you can see that when we started the relevant terms, I said transportation has to do with movement. No matter how sweet the definition of transportation is, if the movement factor is not there, you have not said any significant thing. You have said something, but it is not significant. And if it is not significant, it might not be relevant. So what this is saying is that there are some uniqueness to that movement. So those principal characteristics are the uniqueness in that movement, and that suggests transportation characteristics. Their principal characteristics they are unique to the body of transportation. So now we'll be looking at intangibility. There are two schools of thoughts that I will be giving you for transportation characteristics. The first school of thought believes in these four: intangibility, inseparability, perishability, and variability. These are the four. These are the four. Can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Thank you so much. So now for the intangibility, let us get what the authority is saying so that I can explain further. Unlike physical products, services cannot be seen, tested, felt, heard, or smelled before they are purchased. Prior to boarding an aircraft, airline passenger has nothing but an airline ticket and the promise of safe delivery to the destination. To reduce service intangibility, buyers look for tangible evidence, information, and confidence about the service for which prospective customers. That means that there is tangibility before the intangibility. When the trust is established, then you can now buy it without seeing the physical things that will convey you. So that is what the intangibility is saying, that it must have been at the tangible stage where trust is built, and at a point in time, the intangibility comes in. That's why you have it that airline passengers has nothing but an airline ticket and the promise of safe delivery to their destination. So that is the first that this authority is explaining. Let's see the separability in this case. Now, this has to do with the act of production and consumption, and it has to be simultaneously two things happening at a time. The performance of the service requires the active participation of producers and the consumers together. Moreover, production and consumption also takes place on the premises or in the equipment, that is aircraft or coaches, and not in the customer's home environment. It means that most staff involved in providing services operation have some customers contacts, and so you cannot separate the coming together of the customers, that's the passengers now, and the operators of that mode. So it means that in transportation, the passengers who stand for customers and the operators who are in the position of production, you cannot separates them. That is what this characteristic is saying from this school of thoughts. When I get to the second school of thought, you will see the clarity better than this. Perishability. This follows from the act of inseparability that service production is typically fixed in time and space. This means that if service capacity are not sold on particular day, the potential revenue they present is lost and cannot be recovered. Service production, therefore, is better understood as capacity to produce, not a quantity of production. So what this is saying is that if you book a ticket and you decide not to use that ticket and you have not paid, that suggests that there is a waste. For example, if you book a facility for your warehouse and you have not paid and they have kept that place for you, that after you transport the product to that warehouse that you use, at the end of the day, when you don't make use of the truck that you have booked, it becomes a loss on the side of transportation. So I think that is a better example. When you book for a vehicle to convey a truck to convey a particular product or service from one point to another, and at the end of the day, you call again about 1 hour to that you not be needing it again. That is a loss on its own. So the transport situation also experience perishability. Then variability has to do with the variation that it varies from one customer to the other. So, and there is heterogeneity in customers' expectation. Some people, when they are in a plane, they want hot coffee. Some they want, that is why when you are in international plane, you have varieties. They ask you questions because of variability in the transport system. A very good example of this variability is the air mode of transport. Now, let us see another school of thoughts of transportation characteristics. Now, the first one in the second school of thought is comprehensiveness. Class, could you confirm that you can hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Comprehensiveness, that's the first one.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly, sir.
Thank you so much. That's the first one, comprehensiveness. The second one is coordination. The third is continuity. I hope you can still see my screen. I hope you can still see my screen. The first is comprehensiveness. The second is coordination. The third is continuity. Now, what comprehensiveness does is that at the end of the day, it has to be holistic, it has to be comprehensive, it has to carry all the subsectors, it has to be understandable, it has to be all encompassing. That is what comprehensiveness is talking about transportation. The entire movement has to be all encompassing. Then the coordination, it has to be properly coordinated. It has to be properly packaged. It has to be properly, it has to be properly presented in the sense that when it is time to move, you have to move. For example, I would have shown you some pictures on Ray, but no problem. If for those of you, how many of you have boarded the train from Lagos to Ibadan? How many of you have been to Ibadan? That's the first question. How many of you have been to Ibadan? Class, how many of you have been to Ibadan? Yes, Madam,
That's
Madam Adebisi.
that's by road, sir.
You say what?
I've been to Ibadan severally by road, but not by train.
Okay, Mr. Olawe. Madam Adebisi, what mode did you use?
Yes, sir. It's by bus and car.
Thank you.
I've
Mr.
been to
Olawe,
Ibadan.
both of you should stay tuned like that. Both of you should just stay tuned like that.
So I've used the train to that location, sir.
That's where I'm going, Sister Olaide. That's where I'm going. But Madam Olawe and Madam Olawe and Sister Adeyinka, Madam Adeyinka and Mr. Olawi. Now, have you tried the train before? I want Sister Lady to be on standby. Have you tried the train from
Not
Lagos
at
to
all.
Ibadan? You have
No, I
not.
haven't.
Okay. What about you, madam?
I haven't, sir.
You are missing a lot. Mr. Olawi,
Yes, sir.
you have missed a lot of things. There is no time this morning. I will show you I went to last last I think I also have the link. Last month, no, early this month, last week of June, I went to understudy the rail mode of transport in southwestern Nigeria. And I found that we have been missing. All of us that we have not used the rail for long. There is no way I want to go to Ibadan now that I will stress myself driving. We have been missing. I took some set of students there. We were on field trip from Lagos to Ibadan. We studied the Lagos system from 8 a.m. No, from 10 a.m. rather, till evening. In the evening, we proceeded through the train to Ibadan. And from there, we continued the study from a particular Wednesday to a particular Friday. And I can tell you that as far as I'm concerned now, it is the best. When we get to modes of transport, I will be sharing some of the experience. It is the best. I can say that it is the best. When you talk about timing, the coordination, it is not that it is perfect, but when you are a few minutes, when the time in your ticket is the time they will leave. I just thought of it that I've been to Shell to study their oil and gas logistics. I've been to Free Trade Zone to see there is a difference between PNG and CNG. I hope you know. The Free Trade Zone, they do PNG. They use PNG there. They don't use CNG. I have studied that, studied Free Trade Zone from far, been to some other place on Lekki corridor. But I just thought of it that this rail mode, what is happening there? And I can tell you that the experience I had, people are really, maybe when we get to modes of transport, if I can share some of the clips, I will share it. It was even on Guardian. It was on Guardian. Class rep, if your class permits me, I will send the Guardian link to you after class. That is if you are there, class governor. Are you with us?
Yes, sir.
I trust you that you'll be on standby. You will see that your class governor will talk now. So, Sister Lady, how was your experience when you tried the
So,
rail mode?
no, I don't. I've always been using train, so it's
You
very
have been
efficient
using
for
what?
me. I use train every day, so apart from the one that travels, so
So
I
how
use
had
the
your how are your experiences? How can you rate your experience over that period of time?
Okay,
Tell
so
us a little.
since I've been using train, I can say it's faster, yes, and then most times they stick to time. We have different
That
times.
is it.
We have the local one, we have the one that travels, and then we have the one for Lagos State. The one in Lagos is very efficient. The traveling one
Mm.
is very efficient, but the local one
Ah, mm.
sometimes is not so good, but it is fast.
No, no, no. I'm not talking about that's. I'm not talking about the that. Thank you for this observation. I'm not talking about the single, the narrow gauge. I'm talking about from the standard gauge from Ebute Metta. That's Mobolaji
Yes, from
Johnson,
ABJ.
from Mobolaji
Yes, yes, it
Johnson
is very efficient.
terminus
Yes, yes, very fast too.
in Ebute
Very
Metta.
fast, and they stick to
Yes,
time.
and you wouldn't feel that you are moving. Those who have been moving on road,
Yes,
when you get there, it
yes,
is
yes,
possible that you feel tired. You wouldn't be able to do another thing most times. And if you do another thing, you will just land so tired. But this one that I'm talking
yes.
about, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. No vibration, no noise, consistent There are some other people on this platform that must have tried it. I'm talking about the standard gauge, not the one that is not the narrow gauge that travels from Lagos to Atlanta. It even goes to Kano. Not that experience. So that is about coordination. Coordination. It is at least the coordination is very good. Is very good, and it is one of the characteristics of transportation. Another is continuity. Continuity in the sense that it continues to run. It doesn't stop. It's like a cyclical process. As a set is rounding up, another set continues like that. And I think that is applicable. Madam Laide, I think have you, from your experience of the standard gauge, I want to believe that you also work on a Sunday. Do they work on Sundays?
I
Mr.
don't think
Pius,
so,
can
but
you
I know
mute
it's Monday
yourself,
to
please?
Saturday and they work on public holidays.
Uh-huh.
I know they work
Very
on
good.
public holidays, but
Mr.
what they are doing.
Pius, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister Oguntayo.